The rationale for my project was primarily processes into admission into psychiatric hospitals for families and young people is really difficult, and the process of admission is convoluted and isn't easy at all. So 2,382 young people were admitted to psychiatric facilities in 22-23, and a further 1,883 were admitted between 2023 and 2024. As I said, the process of admission is not straightforward, and we've had several comments and questions from parents, referring clinicians, commissioners, commenting about how the process of referral is really long, and they've voiced that they're waiting too long to be admitted to a psychiatric facility. So hence why I produced the aim of reducing the length of time between referral and admission to the Kent Medway Adolescent Hospital, focusing on urgent referrals to an average of less than 2 days by December this year. I focused on urgent referrals. We do receive 2 other types of referrals, routine and emergency, but urgent referrals are the referrals we receive most frequently, and as such, I had a bigger pool of data to look at to then progress with. So we completed a massive process map prior to the initiation of this project, looking at the entire referral pathway into Kent Medway Adolescent Hospital, but also into other services like the intensive home treatment team. My part of the project focuses on a very small part of the referral pathway, and we did a driver diagram on that part, which is this referral process from point of admission and point of referral. Part of the driver diagram identified 3 key change ideas. That was 1, implementing a rota. Nobody knew who was monitoring referrals, so we implemented a rota to look at who was going to monitor referrals. Running Tier 4 referrals workshops, people didn't know what they were doing when they were looking at referrals. And the third one was actually streamlining the locations that we were receiving referrals to reduce the chances of us missing referrals. So as you can see, in the beginning of me collecting data, there was massive variation in the lengths of time that young people were waiting for admission. The average was actually 10 days for a young person requiring admission, which actually is a really long time for a young person in crisis to be waiting for admission to a psychiatric facility. I've noted here 2 key points about why some of the data was really high. Those circumstances were due to environmental issues with the hospital, but also us kind of creating new processes and opening new beds. I completed 3 PDSA cycles. The first one was implementing the rota to monitor the inbox, second one implementing Tier 4 referrals workshops, and the third one merging the inboxes. After the first PDSA cycle, there wasn't much change, and it identified that people didn't know what they were doing on the inbox, hence the success following implementing the Tier 4 referrals workshop, where you can see that we've now got sustained change with our lengths of time that young people are waiting. Our average is now 3.09 days that young people are waiting for admission to a psychiatric facility, which is a massive decrease from the 10 days at the beginning of last year that people were waiting on average. Just to note, as I said, I'm now in an interim post, but we have now recruited to another patient flow pathway lead who will be picking up this project to look at longer term goals and outcomes. So successes. Sustained change. Our average is currently 3.09 days, which is a massive success compared to the beginning of the year. Staff members are much more aware of referral processes and are more confident in reviewing referrals, leading to quicker outcomes and when people come into hospital quicker. Less complaints and more compliments from our commissioners, who ultimately pay for the beds within our hospitals. We did have some challenges. There was a lack of attendance and commitment in the beginning to the Tier 4 referrals workshop, lots of culture of why do I need to do this, why me, but there's a lot more acceptance now of that actually everybody needs to be part of this to admit young people. Continued pressures from commissioners, difficulties in the unit regarding kind of acuity, which led to delays in completing some of our PDSA cycles due to staff availability, and my vacant role, which has now been recruited to. Lessons learned. As I said, this is a very small part of an entire referral pathway, and there are several other barriers to the smooth admission process that need looking at in a bigger picture. So the quality of the NHS England forms we receive. One of my balance measures was looking at how many referrals we had to send back for more information, and each week there was a high number of referrals we're sending back. So another aspect will be to look at how we can improve the quality of those forms to reduce the time even further, and communication. Responses to referrals have improved within working hours, but unfortunately out of hours we still fall a bit short, so we're looking at how we can kind of cover the gap between kind of 5 PM and 8 AM next morning, because young people in crisis, there's not a time frame on when they're in crisis. Next steps, as I said, we're committed to completing this quality improvement project by the end of the year and looking at the bigger referral pathway, so continuing to record the same data, widening out Tier 4 referrals workshops to people outside of our internal kind of agency, so looking at our locality teams, understanding the importance of having up-to-date NHS England forms and correct information, creating feedback questionnaires, etc. impact, the thing I want to highlight with the impact is a direct impact on young people that are waiting for admission. The young people are feeling validated, and we're getting comments that they're not waiting very long for admission. Social media is the devil these days, and there's so much on social media about young people waiting for admission to a psychiatric facility. There was so much negative impact about I've been waiting days, has anybody in this hospital, anybody in this? That's reduced, particularly in our area, looking at the young people that are waiting for admission. So really great impact that we've had by reducing it from 10 down to 3.09 days.